Well, longtime Inyo County Administrator Kevin Caruncio has announced his retirement after 13 years with Inyo County. Kevin Caruncio, County Administrator since 2007, informed the Inyo County Board of Supervisors at its Tuesday meeting his intent to retire following the completion of several outstanding projects, including the fiscal year 2018-2019 Inyo County budget. Kevin plans to continue living in the Owens Valley, raising his 2 children, and devoting more time to volunteer work and other opportunities. Now, noting that it is an exciting time for Inyo County with several major projects in the hopper or poised to be on the brink of fruition, Kevin Caruncio said he plans to spend the next several weeks focusing on helping to guide those initiatives through their current phases, including consideration of the lease agreement for the Consolidated County Office Building Project, consideration of a contract for the 21st Century Obsidian Project, a State of the Parks report, and development of the Bishop Airport with an eye toward commercial air service. Kevin Caruncio said, "I am and will always be grateful for this opportunity the board has given me and previous boards of supervisors have provided me to serve as Inyo County Administrator." Caruncio said, "I truly love the job, the county, and our communities. Thank you with all my heart." Inyo County Board of Supervisors expected to begin discussing the process for identifying Caruncio's replacements in the coming weeks. Kevin Caruncio has worked for Inyo County since May of 2005, initially serving as Deputy County Administrator, who was responsible for economic development programs and budget analysis, preparation, and implementation. Caruncio also served as the interim library/museum director, in addition to numerous other capacities for Inyo County before being appointed to county administrator in October of 2007. Prior to being employed by Inyo County, Kevin Caruncio worked in California city's government and management. All around good guy. Kevin, enjoy your retirement. Let's listen to some Bobby D. Deb Murphy filed this story for Sierra Wave Media. With an improved lease and grocery outlet footing some of the infrastructure costs at the Y Road and Route 6 site, Inyo's North County Consolidated Office Building got a 5 thumbs up vote from the Inyo County Board of Supervisors at that meeting on Tuesday. Now, Deb writes, those thumbs don't necessarily mean the project is going ahead full tilt. They just represent a first step. Direction to staff was set up with community workshops in both North and South counties and proceed with a final design and a completed lease. CAO Caruncio anticipated the board would be presented with both sometime this fall. Now, given the 5 years since the lease to own plan was first proposed, construction costs and interest rates have gone up. Initially estimated at a total outlay of $14 million, that number has now risen by roughly 25%. Consultant Alan D. Coton provided a look at the end of the long-term savings of consolidating county staff currently housed at 7 rented locations in Bishop. His assumptions were based on the original deal, a $2 million payment at the start with $50,000 monthly rent, lump payments of $250,000 in years 5, 10, and 15, and a final $1 payment at year 20, at which time Inyo County would own the facility. Now, the total cost of either continuing to rent or going with the above scenario would be parallel, but the new build would be steeper. Now, according to Coton's charts, current rents run just under $500,000 a year. By 2040, the Y facility expenses include occupancy costs only while rents keep rising. By 2068, Coton pointed out, cost difference would be $30 million lower for the new facility. Now, the second payment plan calls for a down payment of $7.8 million. According to Coton, with that down payment, Inyo County would be ahead by day one. Financing will come from a variety of discretionary funds as well as categorical funds that can be applied to categorical uses in the new building, according to, well, soon to be retired Kevin Caruncio. Thank Deb Murphy for that report. Well, residential burglary and vehicle theft with 3 arrests in the Bishop area. Press release from the Bishop Police Department notes that this past Sunday, BPD received a call of a possible burglary that had occurred at a residence located on the 200 block of East Elm Street. The reporting party related her neighbors were out of town and that something was out of place at their residence. The field investigation soon confirmed that a burglary had occurred over the weekend, and the suspects also stole the victim's truck. The stolen truck was entered into the National Law Enforcement database, and local law enforcement began searching for it as well. In addition, the victims spread the word on social media. During the course of the investigation, Bishop Police Department identified 2 persons of interest, James Hubbs and Heather Boteo, and potential witnesses. Now, Monday afternoon, law enforcement dispatch centers began receiving information from citizens that the stolen truck was occupied and somewhere off Odie Road. California Highway Patrol officer, Inyo County Sheriff deputies, and Bishop Police Department officers responded and began canvassing the area. Roughly 1 mile down a dirt road, the CHP officer located that stolen truck, and shortly thereafter, law enforcement officers detained the 2 occupants, Tiara Kinney and James Hubbs, who was the male previously identified as a person of interest. Bishop Police Department transported the 2 suspects to the police department for further investigation. Now, later that afternoon, BPD and CHP responded to a mobile home park in the 2000 block of West Line Street in an attempt to locate the second person of interest, Heather Boteo. She was located inside a small trailer, and a search of that trailer revealed a good portion of the victim's stolen property. She was transported to the police department for further investigation. All 3 suspects were eventually transported to the Inyo County Jail in Independence. Bishop Police Department says anyone with pertinent information about the suspects or the crime encouraged to contact the BPD 760-873-5866. Well, the Mammoth Lakes Police Department was awarded $451,581 in state grant funding. This from California Attorney General Xavier Becerra to combat the illegal sale of cigarettes and tobacco products to minors. Now, the grants, $37.5 million in total, were distributed to 71 local entities throughout the state. They will fund operations, retailer training programs, the installation of signage, youth outreach, tobacco retail license inspections, training for sworn personnel, and other activities. Now, said Mammoth Lakes Police Department Chief Al Davis, our schools have seen a dramatic increase in underage smoking and vaping. This grant will serve to fund a full-time school resource officer, those are known as SROs, for 2 years, who will conduct, along with their other normal SRO duties, programs focused on anti-tobacco campaigns in our schools and communities. Additionally, this grant will help us combat underage tobacco sales, educate our business owners, and conduct community outreach on the dangers of tobacco. Again, that's MLPD Chief Al Davis. Now, said Attorney General Becerra, tobacco remains a very serious public health concern. These grants will provide additional tools to law enforcement to help educate kids about the dangers of smoking. Grants will also help local communities enforce laws against selling tobacco products to minors. These grants are an important step toward reducing illegal sales and building a healthier California, end quote. Well, the Inyo National Forest and Devil's Postpile National Monument have announced that Reds Meadow Valley Road will be opening this Friday, June 15th, 5 p.m. Previously, we have reported that that road received damage in 2 sections of the road where the subgrade material under the road washed away and the road buckled. The forest engineering crew, with the assistance of an additional crew brought in under an emergency contract, rebuilt and repaved those segments of the road. Now, the mandatory Reds Meadow shuttle bus will be running starting this Saturday, June 16th. Only exception vehicles will be allowed to drive into Reds Meadow Valley. You can see the Eastern Sierra Transit Authority website, estransit.com, for all the information. Inyo National Forest and Devil's Postpile National Monument water systems, they're being tested for potability, so hikers and campers should bring your own water. You know that. The Reds Meadow Resort and Pack Station is open with camping supplies. Devil's Postpile Ranger Station will be open daily 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. starting on June 16th. As a reminder, wilderness permits, they are now issued at the Welcome Center in Mammoth Lakes and not at the Ranger Station. Devil's Postpile National Monument Campground closed this year due to increased day use, to increase day use access for picnicking, improved river access for fishing, and to provide overflow parking in the fall. You can get more information at the Ranger Station Visitor Center, 760-934-2289. We will note the trail to viewpoints above Rainbow Falls are open. Trail crews repairing damages on the trail to the base of Rainbow Falls, which will remain closed until work is completed. The roads in the Reds Meadow Valley, the press release notes, narrow, visibility limited. All vehicles should use caution on both Reds Meadow and Devil's Postpile roads. Inyo Recreation has determined to open the campgrounds, Agnew Meadows, Minaret Falls, Reds Meadow, Upper Soda Springs, and Pumice Flat campgrounds on June 15th with the road opening. Their hosts will be there to welcome the campers and find a suitable site for their needs. Well, earlier this week, Caltrans joined officials from Inyo, Mono, and Kern counties and prime contractor Granite Construction to celebrate the completion of the first of 3 Freeman Gulch projects on State Route 14, which will eventually convert the existing 2-lane roadway to a 4-lane expressway upon full completion. Now, said Caltrans Director Lori Berman, this roadway is the principal access into the Inyo and Mono County recreation areas. Project improves the safety, capacity, and operation of this important route for the Eastern Sierra region and its economy. Now, the 4-lane project converted the existing 2-lane highway into a 4-lane divided highway just north of the State Route 178 Isabella Walker Pass Road to just south of Indian Wells near Ridgecrest, said Caltrans District 9 Director Brent Green. This is a critical project and one of the last 4 projects to complete the vision of a 4-lane divided highway along the Eastern Sierra corridor. Green said this project improves this portion of State Route 14 to ensure safe movement for travelers. As everybody who's traveled to Southern California and back knows, State Route 114, a vital corridor for residents, shippers, and recreational visitors, and the Freeman Gulch project designed to increase the efficiency of the highway and will allow motorists to pass slower vehicles without having to use the oncoming lanes, the press release notes, and we all know how dangerous that can be. And Brent Green also said the vision of a 4-lane highway along the Eastern Sierra corridor started with a project between Bishop and Mammoth Lakes in 1955. The $28 million construction project, funded through an agreement between the Kern Council of Governments and Inyo and Mono local transportation commissions and Caltrans. Now, the Freeman Gulch 4-lane project broken up into 3 segments. It's a collaborative effort between Caltrans, Kern Council of Governments, Inyo, and Mono counties. The entire project spans 16.4 miles of State Route 14 to convert the remaining 2-lane highway into a 4-lane expressway. The next project to go to construction along the corridor, the Olancha-Cartago 4-lane project on Highway 395, expected to go into construction in 2020. We'll be back with more news.